good coffee. Lower your expectations. That's what we're talking about tonight. One of the points that I made earlier was that we tend to expect the world to come from just one person. And that's going to be a bit of a mistake because nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody does everything just right. There's always some sort of fallacy. And the more you're able to look at these things with a sense of reality, the easier time you're going to have dealing with a lot of things. Even this video right here. There are probably a million things that I haven't done to make this video the absolute best that it can be. But I realize that I'm a human and I'm new to this. So when I embrace such things, that's going to make my overall viewpoint of all of this a bit easier. But what about you? What things or what people lately have just been utter disappointments to you? Just been completely just a letdown. You ever think about why? Why is this person or this thing, why is this such a disappointment to you? Well, not to take away from the fact that it is possible that some people are doing some things that are a bit disappointing. We won't ignore that. But let's also not ignore the fact that we sometimes tend to put a bit more expectation on people and on things than we should. And when you do that, you kind of set yourself up for failure. Because now you're expecting this much when the container is only this much, which means it's not going to get any better than this. And the more you want this, but the container can only do this, it's the more disappointment, over and over again. So it takes a bit of adjustment, a bit of a soul searching, if you will. Now, there are a lot of psychological reasons why we tend to have these type of dependencies on the expectations that we place on people and on things. Maybe certain things in your past have caused you to be afraid of certain things. Maybe certain things that happened before in similar situations may make you too afraid to keep going with this particular situation. And folks, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You're being cautious, and you should be cautious. But in the midst of being cautious, don't be afraid to push the envelope and go forward, because that's where progress is, going forward. Now, when you are able to take a look at yourself and the lack of perfection that's there, and now mind you, when you do this, it is so important that you don't look at yourself and measure yourself against what you view as perfect or who you view as perfect, because you're going to disappoint yourself. You're going to start feeling bad about yourself. That's not the direction that we want to go in. But when you're able to take a complete, logical, emotion-free look at all the different aspects of you, all the things that make you, you, then you're going to start to see certain patterns, and you're going to start to see certain reasons why you walk the way you walk, certain reasons why you talk the way you talk, certain reasons why you do the things you do. And when you're able to embrace not just the good, but also the not so good parts, that's where real growth and real self-acceptance begins. Now, this may be a bit difficult because at first you're going to want to start naming and start focusing on all the bad things about yourself. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a survival technique. It's a survival tactic. In nature, you are going to naturally pay more attention to the things that can hurt you than to the things that can help you. The things that are good, that feel good, today, tomorrow, right now, within the hour, all these things, these are delights. These are things that you can just kind of carefree enjoy. But in nature, there are certain things that are dangerous. Things that could hurt you bad today. Things that could hurt you later on. Also, certain things that could hurt you immediately. That might not allow you to make it to later on. And that's when your brain takes over. Says, all right, we want to live, we want to survive. So we're going to pay much less attention to the feel good stuff. And we're going to pay much more attention to the dangerous stuff. So that goal, take that mindset, take that modality, and apply that to how you view yourself. It's a natural path that you take. It's normal. But this is going to take a lot of work. Understanding that, understanding all these negative things, all these bad things about yourself, all these not so great qualities, understanding that you're human, and there's a good chance that you might be over exaggerating about just how bad of a quality you're thinking about. It really may not be as bad as you think when you measure it against what you understand about real people, everyday people, and not the idealistic viewpoint that we may tend to have. When you're able to look at yourself with that kind of duality and embrace both sides, that's going to bring you to a state of, or at least getting you close to a state of completion. And when you're able to embrace both sides of yourself and understand both sides of yourself, the good parts and the not so good parts, then you're able to more easily understand other people and their great parts and their not so great parts. And then you're going to be able to understand better certain things, certain not good parts and certain good parts. This is going to make dealing with things much easier. Lowering your expectation. Because there's really no such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect time, a perfect person, perfect way of doing things. Even if there was a perfect way of doing things, it'll be perfect today. And tomorrow, it'll be all wrong. Old news, archaic, all these things. So, when you're able to look at things with a holistic viewpoint and embrace all parts, that elevates your mindset, that elevates your thinking, that elevates the way you're able to process a person, process a thing, and process yourself. So, look at my notes. This is not going to be a quick fix type of deal. This requires a lot of deep digging into who you are. That may be a little nerve-wracking because some of us have never done such a thing before. And it can be a bit scary, especially if you have certain things in your past that you may have tried so hard for so long to try and forget, put past you. Now, I'm not saying to emotionally hurt yourself intentionally. Don't do that. But I am saying embrace yourself. Even some of the things that may have been not so good that you had to go through. Because remember, you made it here today now because you made it through that. You went to it and you went through it. And now you're here. Always keep in mind that you have a 100% success rate. all the things that you've been through before, no matter how bad, no matter how doom and gloom, no matter how no end in sight it seemed, you made it somehow. You made it. And you have a 100% success rate. So keep that in mind, especially as far as if you're getting ready to go through something right now, or if you're in the middle of going through it right now, you've got a 100% success rate. So, what you're going to do now is you're going to continue that. That may take another week or so. That may take, could take a year. It doesn't matter. Continue your 100% success rate. So, the people that you keep around, the things that you indulge in, the vices that you tend to have, all these things are, they're both a reflection and a result of what's inside of you. It's a reflection. All of these things are a reflection of what's in you and why. This is what that soul searching, that digging deep. This is what's going to help you understand why you have the friends that you have. Why you like going to the places that you go. Why do you like doing the things that you do? Why do you like engaging in certain activities? When you learn this level of deepness about yourself, this helps you as far as your expectations of people and things, because it has what I call transferable knowledge wrapped all in it. When you're able to dive deep into yourself, you will begin to understand yourself, all the things that made you you, and you will begin to embrace the uniqueness that it caused, your personal gumbo, if you will, all the little different little flavorings that this little event in your life caused, that little event in your life caused, meeting this person caused, going to this school caused, living in this area caused, having this person as your dad caused, having this person as your mom caused. All these things and so much more, they add to your gumbo and give you the unique flavor that is you listening to this right now. When you have this type of understanding about your personal gumbo, you're able to transfer that type of understanding when you're dealing with someone else. Because you understand that person has their own personal gumbo. The things that made them who they are, where they grew up, what part of town they live in, who their parents are, what school they went to, what happened to them this day, what happened to them that day, what thing did they witness at this point in time, what thing did they witness at that time, what group did they naturally gravitate to, what music did they, all these things make their personal gumbo. And when you understand your own personal gumbo, now you're able to understand other people's gumbo and your expectation of who they are when someone does a thing that you don't like. You're going to meet that with much less hostility. I'm going to take a sip of coffee here so I can stop getting tongue-tied. But you're able to meet these failed moments with a bit less hostility and a bit more understanding. Understanding that, yeah, that person did this bad thing. That person did this not so good thing. But remember that time last week when you did this bad thing? Or you remember that time last year when everybody had no idea that you did that bad thing? You tend to have a bit more understanding. And having more understanding makes it so much easier to deal with things and people. So, let's see what else we got. The law of duality. The law of duality. There are certain universal laws that are very beneficial for you to learn. And I would highly encourage you all to do some research on these things. Universal laws. One of them is going to be the law of duality. And in this case, when it comes to lowering your expectations and understanding people and things and yourself for who and what you truly are, the law of duality, this has nothing to do with you. But at the same time, this has everything to do with you. Law of duality applied to this. So, how does this have nothing to do with you? Well, when you really break it down, you aren't just you. You're a product of everything that happened to you. You're a product of everything that happened for you. You're a product of everything that happened around you. You are a product of your parents, and you're a product of their parents being their parents, so forth and so on. So this isn't about you, your personality, and all these things like that. You got that from someplace else. The way you speak, your accent, especially if you live in certain parts of the country in the U.S., you have different accents. You've got a Boston accent, you've got the New York accent, you've got your Detroit accent, you've got your LA accent, you've got your Tennessee accent, you've got your Texas accent. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, so I have my Charleston Geechee accent. You have accents from all over. And the reason why you have that accent is because you spent time around, or you lived in certain areas at a certain point, or you were born and raised in these parts of the world, the country. And you heard everyone around you speaking in that way. So it's not a unique language or unique twang that you came up with. Everybody else around you spoke like that. So you began speaking like that. So it's not about you, it's about where you came from. Certain life experiences are the reason why you have certain fears, the reason why you have certain concerns, the reason why you have certain aspirations. So they didn't just come out of nowhere, out of thin air. Oh, one day, I want to be, want to be a firefighter. It's not out of nowhere. You were around a fire truck at some point, or at some point you were outside, and that big old red truck with all those lights, all those pretty lights, and all those loud sounds came blaring past, and you went, "Whoa, I want that." Something happened to make you want to do that. So it's not about you. There may be people in your bloodline. Maybe your great grandmother was this amazing organist at her church, which means your father, your grandfather, uh, was a really good piano player when he was in church. And then maybe that meant your father was this amazing musician in the local band at this place, at that place, and now you are a musician, rather in school or a group or at church or wherever. So you being a musician, that wasn't just something you just decided to do one day. It was in you. It was in your bloodline, essentially. So it's not about you. It's about all the things that you got from your previous generations. So that's the part where, in duality, it's not about you. But now we're going to get to the other side of duality, where it is all about you. It's all about you. What you think about you is all about you. This is going to be kind of the complete opposite of everything we just said, because On the other side of the law of duality, we were able to link who you are and what you do to other people, other things, other entities. On this side, everything is going to be you. Yes, you may have a propensity to do this thing, be this way, dress this way, walk this way, talk this way. But after a certain point, you speaking the way you speak is going to be the result of you either deciding to actually work on your diction, work on your lexicon, or just leave it to whatever grade school level you speak at or you read at. At some point, yeah, you came from this side of town. Okay, so it's understandable that because you went through this thing and that thing. Okay, yeah, you walk like that, you talk like that. Okay, understandable. But at some point, it's about you choosing to either dress in a more presentable, more professional, more respect getting way, or just keep doing what you normally be doing. On and on and on. The point is, on this side of the law of duality, where it is all about you, now we're talking much less about all the things that happen to you, and we're talking much more about what are you going to do about it. This side requires more intention. And the less intention you put toward it, that's the more you allow whatever to be to be. And a lot of times that doesn't work in your favor. That doesn't work in your favor. Being a leaf blown around in the wind, usually it never works out well. So this side of the law of duality requires you to be a bit more intentional about what I refer to as your overall presentation package. And that's the things that include what you look like, how you're dressed, why you're wearing certain things, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, all these things. How you hold yourself, how you carry yourself, how do you sit, stand, how do you gesture, all these things. How you communicate, why are you communicating the way you're trying to communicate, what is it that you're trying to communicate? And have you thought about what it is that you want to say to someone before you let it leave your lips? All these things and so much more are all what's included in what I call your overall presentation package. That's a part of the intentional aspect of you. This part of the law of duality. Yes, you have all the things, all the outside sources that affected who you are and how you present. But you also have the part of you that has a decision to make. As the way that you present yourself right now, is that good? Is that helpful? Has it been good? Has it helped you or hurt you? That requires a lot of that soul searching earlier we talked about. That requires a lot of that digging deep into the well of self-improvement. So, lowering your expectation involves much more than just expecting bad and just being okay with it. It's much more an understanding. Having an understanding about people, about the reality of what we do and how we are. There are some people that do certain things or act certain ways, and you may be very upset and very repulsed by it. But that may be all that person knows. Sometimes that person is giving you the best that they've got. And just because the best that they've got doesn't gel well with what you think should be the best that you should receive, now there's that friction, there's that tension. But when you have a bit more understanding, about different people, different scenarios, you tend to you tend to be able to receive people better, receive situations better, and navigate accordingly. When you're able to navigate well through a situation, you and the person that you're relating to, you both come out on top. Having that sense of reality. But this requires a lot of soul searching, a lot of digging deep into who you are and understanding why you are and determining where you want to be. Where do you want to go now that you know all these things about yourself? Now, this may require some help, some assistance. I am ready to give you that assistance when you visit stylebymrreed.com and you book your session with me. We will work together and we will go on this journey. This journey is a lifelong journey. So you have to make sure that you're prepared for this type of thing. We're going to work together and get you started in that right direction on that journey, that never-ending journey of self-refinement. And we're going to get you truly to the best you that you can be. So, folks, that was my little rant from the desk of Style by Mr. Reed today. Take care and be on the lookout for the next one. So, till next time, do yourself a favor, lower your expectations.